If you guys want the fastest way to improve your aim, get some Control Freaks for cheap. Use code Goblin for 10% off and improve your aim today. Link in the description. Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Call of Duty World War II video. Today's update, what we got is a little bit of a Reddit post about the score streak changes and what they're thinking about with score streaks in Call of Duty World War II. So I'm going to talk about that, and then I'm also going to go through score streak by score streak, talk about what I think can be done to make the score streaks better, more balanced in this game, because as most people would agree, as of right now, they are fairly underpowered. So pretty good stuff to talk about in today's video. But before I get into that, I just want to let you guys know about this free-to-enter Call of Duty World War II tournament. In this tournament, teams of 4 will compete for over 60,000 in total cash prizes, with the winning team taking home 25 grand of that and a free trip to CWL Anaheim. Basically, anyone can enter this WorldGaming tournament as long as you're over the age of 18 and a resident of either Canada or the United States. You can register with the link down in the description for completely free. Compete through the online qualifiers, go through the online playoffs. The top 8 teams will get their trip paid for out to Toronto to play in the finals, and it's a really awesome tournament if you want to check out your skills. Link to the free sign up will be at the top of the description. I definitely recommend, if you guys are interested in competitive Call of Duty at all, go ahead and check that out. Sign up with your buddies, make a team, whatever you guys want to do. A very awesome tournament that starts very soon, so get on that and check out that link down in the description. All right, if you guys could drop a like on this video too, I would really appreciate that. Let's go ahead and let's try and smack out 95 likes. That would be crazy if we could hit that. Of course, subscribe to the channel as well, and let's get it started here. So, new Reddit post from Michael Condrey from Sledgehammer Games. I'm pretty sure this is, they've been posting, they've been talking to the community so much. Let's get right into it. What he said basically is that on deck this week are some weapon tuning changes to improve balance across all weapon classes. Small changes can have big impacts, so we're being very careful to test and measure internally before pushing live. We suspect an update by Thursday, and we'll share the specific changes then. So most likely they said by Thursday, so I guess technically it could come out tomorrow. I was kind of looking forward to this weapon update coming today, because usually they will update either Tuesday or Thursday, so I just assumed it would be Tuesday. Looks like it's most likely going to be Thursday morning, of course. And it's kind of interesting how they say they're going to make sure they test everything before it comes out. But a lot of the issues with this game are from a lack of testing. So hopefully this update comes out this Thursday. These weapon changes, of course, I'm going to cover everything when that does come out. But that was something we already knew about. The other thing that he said right here is sort of some new information. This is what he said right here. We're also looking into Scorestreak Tuning this week. There's great dialogue and healthy debate in the studio about strength versus cost of our streaks. Do we buff the strengths? Do we lower the costs? Both? Similar to weapon balance above, small changes can have big impacts, so we want to be careful. Everyone loves earning streaks, but no one loves being a match that's getting streak spammed by the enemy team. He also said that there is a new game update sitting with our first party partners awaiting approval for release later this month. It includes a ton of new content and game features, probably the Resistance 1 DLC, as well as a long list of fixes and improvements. We'll have more to share as soon as we get closer to release. So, a lot of different updates coming out. One later this month, one this Thursday, fixing, looks like it'll just be some weapon patches and maybe a few bug fixes. But this is interesting what they said about the score streaks. They're basically saying that the score streaks are underpowered. They're sort of agreeing with the community on that. Like they said, do we buff the strengths, question mark? Do we lower the cost, question mark? Or do we do both, question mark? Which is interesting that that's even an option. So what I think is that score streaks do need to be buffed. Now, lowering the costs is in turn a buff, because you're going to get them easier, you're going to get them more often, and of course, you know, when streaks are easier to earn and cost less, we expect less out of them. That's just always how it's been. So I have the list of the score streaks right in front of me. I'm going to go through and I'm going to talk about what I think can be changed to buff certain ones of these score streaks. First thing I want to say here is the first change they need to do with, they're already testing out with this Dom XL playlist, which should be coming out sometime soon. They didn't really mention it in this post, but they've talked about it previously, saying that it would be sometime this week, so maybe it will be on this Thursday update, is where basically they're testing out Dom as 100 points per kill. I think Dom, even if they test this out and it doesn't work out, it's got to be at least 75 points a kill to make score streak earning good. Now, should score streaks be lowered? Should the cost of streaks be lowered? In my opinion, no. What you should do is raise the earnings and the points up, especially for the game mode domination. In other game modes, I find it's not very hard to earn streaks. Capture flag, you grab the flag, get a couple kills, you earn your streaks. Hardpoint, you hop in and out of it, you earn your streaks. They also have Ordnance, which is great, a basic training in this game. Of course, I don't use it very often because it's not really good for domination, because domination, you're sort of writing off the score streak portion of that because it's so hard to get them. But Ordnance basically is hardline, which scales with streaks. So the harder the streak is to get, the more points Ordnance is deducting off of that, making it easier for you, which I think it's an innovative thing. I don't think they've ever done hardline like that before in Call of Duty, and I think that's interesting. Now, as far as streaks, what should be fixed? So I have the list of the streaks right now. First one, Molotov Cocktail. I think that one's fine. They patched that one up during the beta, and right now it's mostly only one that people will use a lower score streak just for fun and maybe in a competitive Call of Duty. I think that's it's at a good spot. I don't know if any changes, would want to be made there. And of course, you guys leave your feedback in the comment section down below. I want this to be an open discussion about, this is just my opinions of how I feel about the score streaks. Of course, you guys will probably feel differently, or some of you might feel the same on certain ones, different on others. Let me know that in the comment section below. Recon aircraft doesn't need to be changed at all. In my opinion, it's pretty good. Barely any people, I guess Mountain Division is a big counter for it. Then again, recon aircrafts are fairly easy to earn in the right objective game modes. And you can also have the, if you're earning multiple recon aircrafts, you get those little arrows. What I think would be a great way of something they could do, and this is Sledgehammer Games who did this with Advanced Warfare, is maybe have Scorestreak Variants come back like AW, like IW did. Maybe do them as some sort of DLC similar to Infinite Warfare did it. Scorestreak Variants were absolutely dope, and they made score streaks that would have been, like, think about Advanced Warfare if you guys played that game. Those streaks without those improvements would have been very weak. It would have been similar to this game. But once they added the ability to add perks to your score streaks and customize them, they made some pretty strong score streaks and some pretty fun ones. So that's what I think they could do. Recon aircraft is fairly good. Counter recon aircraft, this should be changed. If you guys don't know how counter UAV works in other games, is it completely jams the enemy's radar. How it works in this game is it just prevents them from calling in a UAV, and if they have a UAV already up, it will destroy it. I think you should just go back to how counter UAV was in previous Call of Duty games. I don't see why they ended up fixing that one. Instead of making it a counter UAV, it's basically just a plane that shoots down their UAVs. It's kind of not the most, I see what they try to do with it because it is harder to get launchers in this game because you have to have a launch class set up. But at the same time, I just think the traditional counter UAV was a lot more valuable, and especially when it does take quite a few points to earn. It's more points than a recon aircraft, and it definitely is not near as useful as a recon aircraft. Next one, care package. That's pretty fine. It's just completely up to luck. Fighter pilot. I think fighter pilot honestly is fine. I think it's a really strong streak right now for the points that it's at. I wouldn't really change that one at all. I think that fighter pilot is actually probably the best streak in the game for how many points it takes. Fighter pilot and UAV, for how many points they take to how good they are really good. I don't think that needs to be changed. Glide bomb, I think glide bomb could have a little bit of a buff, especially since glide bomb is more points than fighter pilot, and it definitely is not near as good as fighter pilot. I think the glide bomb, maybe they could make it easier to control when it comes down, maybe make it an ability to where you could speed it up, much like Predator missiles in previous Call of Duty games, or up the blast radius. Those are some options I would consider for that one. Flamethrower, I think that one's fine. I don't have much experience with it, but it's more of one that you would just use for fun. It's not really a try-hard score streak. Mortar Strike and Artillery Barrage. These ones are interesting, and they've talked about potentially changing the shell shock for your teammates because these streaks are good. Artillery Barrage is good, but it doesn't really get too many kills because people will see it and they just see it on their map. They just don't walk into it, and they're good as long as you don't walk into that. So that one, that one's more for competitive Call of Duty. I think it's not really for getting a bunch of kills. Mortar Strike, I think, should have a better blast radius. That one, I find not getting too many kills with that one. Flat guns, of course, is just for shooting stuff down. Maybe you could lower the points on that. I really never see that one used ever. Emergency airdrop could be lowered a little bit, but that's, it's all up to chance with that one with the care package. And if you have ordnance and the ability to re-roll your packages, that can actually be a really good streak. As far as the big changes they need to make, I think it is to these bigger streaks. The fire bombing run is decent. I think the points should be lowered on the fire bombing run so it's more of a reasonable one to earn, because right now it's at way too high of a points for how good it is. And then the big three, Paratroopers, Carpet Bombing, and Ball Turret Gunner. These ones need to be changed if they want this game to be more of a, a classic Call of Duty where streaks do damage. Right now, Paratroopers, Paratroopers. One of the Paratroopers comes in holding a shovel in his hand and literally does nothing. Paratroopers should have more health, in my opinion, and they should all have weapons. That would probably fix those. Carpet bombing is great, except, I mean, I guess it could use a little bit of a buff, but the main thing with that is it kills yourself every time. Maybe if you made yourself immune to the carpet bomb, it would make it more usable. Personally, I don't use that one because it literally kills myself. You call it in, you don't have any like you can't aim where it goes. You just click the button, it calls in, and if you're at all near an enemy, you're gonna get blown up. That thing kills me at least once or twice every time, so I'm like, screw that. I'm not using that kill streak, especially when it's so hard to earn. And ball turret gunner, I think, is very strong. It just all depends on the map. That one is really good on like the forest map and stuff like that, but the amount of points it takes to earn, maybe on those big three you could lower the points a tiny bit, but I did definitely overall the score streaks do need certain buffs, and I think that the changes that I was talking about here could probably make it balanced. You know, that's what I think would be good. You guys let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. I'm definitely interested to hear you guys' feedback. Looks like Scorestreak changes are going to be coming. They just want to hear feedback. What do you guys want? Let me know down in the comment section down below, and let Sledgehammer Games know. Drop a like. Thanks for watching. Sub for a cookie and don't looky, and I'm out. Peace.